Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at WenningStrength.com, and today we're going to talk about best exercises to build a massive squat. And some of these exercises you may not have seen or done yourself, but trust me, it works. So let's get to it. The first big exercise that we use at Wenning Strength to build up the squat is the belt squat. The belt squat is amazing because it's the exact same motor pattern with very similar muscle activation with little to no mileage on the spine. And this is why it's able to be utilized for such high volume. So in a given week, we will do 8 sets of 25, which is 200 reps of belt squats in order for us to not only develop the squat, but do it in a safe fashion in order for us to make progress, build muscle without deteriorating our bodies under a straight bar. So the belt squat is huge. The next one that we use is a 45-degree back extension. The 45-degree back extension helps us in order to combat anterior dominance to posterior weakness. So usually most people's squatting technique is poor due to the fact they don't have good hamstrings, lower back, or glute activation, in which the 45-degree back extension nails all of those areas. When you have a strong 45-degree back extension, you're going to be able to stay more upright in the squat, not fall over, and you're also going to be able to keep more tension on the posterior side of the body. The point of the squat is to get as many muscle groups to help out as possible, and if you have a deficiency in the area behind your body or the posterior chain, it's going to show up in your form, and that's why we do tons of 45-degree back extensions. One that's even more progressive than the 45-degree back extension, and I would consider more on the advanced side, is a Glute Ham Raise machine. The Glute Ham Raise machine is amazing because it's very similar to a 45-degree back extension, but extremely difficult on the hamstring tie-in, especially behind the knee. What we have found at the fire service is that the guys that are not good at least doing 3 or 4 glute ham raises at the proper setup actually have a higher incidence of injury rates due to the fact that their anterior to posterior chain balance is way off. So if you get on a glute ham raise machine and you can't do one, it's telling you it's a weakness right there. The next big exercise that I feel is a huge proponent is the Wenning plank. The Wenning plank is a variation of the band crunch standing, and I like it because of a couple reasons. One, you're standing on your feet, which is exactly what you do when you squat. So it's teaching you in a specific fashion on how to use your core to train. 2, it also is teaching you how to brace immensely, especially if you're doing it correctly. So as we can see, I will lean over onto my toe, creating a bridge or a plank off of the band, and then I'll actually crunch in that position. Now I'm not trying to round my back when I crunch, I'm actually just bending at the hip, creating proper form technique, but also learning how to lock my abs in very strongly. I would say for about 50 to 70% of you guys watching this video, your core is your weakness in your squat and why it's not going up, and doing more direct core work will help that particular scenario a ton. Now, the next big thing that I would utilize is reverse hyperextensions. Reverse hyperextensions are amazing because they are very similar to the 45-degree back extension, but they're reversed. The legs move instead of the upper body. Now what I like about this is we get some traction benefits from the lumbar spine, which is if we have a sit-down desk job or we are sedentary, that's actually going to help alleviate some of the back issues before we go into a compressive environment such as squatting. So I would find that, I would say 50 to 60% of the time before we even squat, we do a handful of reps of reverse hyperextensions to make sure that not only the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back are warm, but also that we have some traction in the lower back. So I hope this helps you guys out tremendously in developing and selecting your accessories and your winning warm-ups for the squat. The squat can be very difficult, and once you're at a certain point, doing more squatting can actually create more mileage and more damage. I will give you a case in point. After squatting 24 reps with 520, breaking Tom Platt's record, I only squatted with a straight bar 3 times in 15 weeks to get ready for that particular event. But what I did do is do a ton of exercises that I just showed you on this film. So if you guys have any more questions, join Patreon, go see wenningstrength.com, check out the powerlifting manual where we go over how to do a lot of this stuff, and we'll talk at you guys later.